So I was driving the Bullitt around a little bit, enjoying the car. I wanted to drive a little bit more this time of year where it's a little cooler and it's not so cold that it's a problem because it doesn't have a heater. The heater core had cracked on it years ago and I just bypassed it. And so I just wanted to drive it around a little bit now that it's warming up, but I also wanted to drive it before it got really hot because around here it gets over 100 degrees. And I don't really like driving the supercharged Mustangs when it's really hot unless I drive them in the morning or the evening or whatever. So I wanted to drive the car around a little bit, and I've been real busy with my other project cars, and I've been working on the yellow GT a lot, and I just wanted to get the Bullitt out so that I could drive it some more. So I was enjoying driving the Bullitt around, and I noticed that one of the idler pulleys was making a little bit of noise, so that kind of bothered me. So I went out and I went with my friend who has the convertible Terminator and the GT350, and we went and ran some errands, and I could just hear it making some noise. So I let the car cool down a little bit. It's hard to rev the throttle body when it's hot, and right by the supercharger that gets really hot on your hand. And it's nice when the car is warm because then you can hear the sound better if it's a pulley that's acting up when it gets hot. But I went and worked on the yellow GT some more and let the car cool down. And then as soon as it was done, maybe the next day, I just took my time. I went ahead and took off the supercharger pulley belt because the Tork Tech supercharger kit is like a Terminator Cobra where it has a pulley bridge and it has pulleys on one side that faces the engine that the main drive belt's on, and then it has another set of pulleys on the other side of the bridge. You'll see the bridge here in the video as I'm working on it. And the other side of the bridge has idlers and the supercharger with a piggyback pulley that goes on the crank to turn it all. So I took off the supercharger belt because you can still run the car with the accessory drive normal belt that would be on the timing cover, the belt that's on every car. And so this kit allows you to do that. It doesn't run the alternator on the supercharger belt like a Terminator Cobra would be. So basically the only thing running the second belt is the crank, and then it turns the supercharger and some idlers. So I took it off hoping that those were the bad idlers because they're easy to get to, and I spun those, but they sounded good. So I took off the that first belt and then ran the car and listened to see if I could hear the pulleys making noise on the inner side. So I could kind of hear a little bit of the noise on the idler pulleys, but it was kind of hard to tell which one it was. So my only choice was really to take off the supercharger belt again, because I put it back on and drove the car a little bit. But go ahead and take off the supercharger belt and take off the main drive belt and see if I can spin the pulleys, the idlers, and isolate which one of the pulleys it was, or replace. There's 3 idlers, I believe, on the inner side, so just had to do that. So I went ahead and did that, and I was able to get one of the idlers off, and without taking off the pulley bridge, which I was excited about. And here you can hear the bearings are bad. But as you can see, I tested the other one, and that one was bad too. So I had to take the tensioner off, which is right here. That meant the pulley bridge has to come off, even though I worked so hard to get that other one off. And then there's some bolts here for the power steering bracket and these little radio dampeners and stuff. And basically, I got to take off that whole pulley bridge and get it out of the way. And the tensioner is in the way of one of the bolts that holds it against the block. Down here, if you look, there's an Allen that goes through, and it goes to where the alternator would mount on the block. And so basically this whole pulley bridge has to come off, and the alternator drops down here with those 2 bolts, and you loosen those and drop the alternator down. So I got to do all that. And so now with the bridge out of the way, I can get to that idler. And so that was nice to be able to get to those, and they were pretty easy to get to at that point. So just kind of wrenching in the garage, listening to music, enjoying the nice day. Luckily, my house faces a direction where the sun's not beating in it all the time, so it's a nice time to work and everything. So I noticed this pulley has the grooves in it. I believe that's aftermarket, so that you don't have belt slip, but got it all back together. Picking up our kids from a birthday party. You got the dad in the cammed supercharged Bullitt, and you got the Prius. That worked out nicely. Then just had a bunch of tools to clean up, and I still got tools to clean up from other projects and stuff. But it's fun working on the cars, having a nice day, listening to music in the garage, having fun. And then I decided to do something. I had some Bullitt sill plates. You can see like these ones that were on eBay for like $300. And they came off my friend's Bullitt, number 4965. I have a video about this car. I'll leave it in the description if you'd like to watch the story about this car. That was totaled. It was hit in the back really bad. Really sad to see. This was a few years ago, and the car was totaled, and he parted it out, sold the drivetrain, sold everything off of it. But he did have a few things, and when I stopped by his house, he let me take some things with me. So you can see there's the sill plates. They're kind of bent up from getting them off because we didn't have any time. I was really in a hurry, and we didn't have a heat gun or anything. But the center section where it says Bullitt was still good, so I decided to go ahead and put some double-sided tape on it and I had cut these out years ago and put magnets on the back to hang on my toolbox, but I thought, you know what, it'd be kind of cool to put some, high strength double-sided tape on this and put it on this Mac air intake because it's chrome and just kind of soft there, nice place for these. And I really like how they turned out because the brushed aluminum contrasts really nice with the chrome. So when you're looking at it, you just see that brushed aluminum really well. So I thought that was kind of a cool little engine upgrade, something nice to do for the Bullitt now that I got everything fixed on it and it's time to enjoy the car some more and do some things like that. So that's the update for the Bullitt. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and stay tuned for more Mustang content.